Praise Jesus, friends of our adorable Jesus and friends of Sister Anne Ali of the Most Holy Eucharist. Last week, we were able to finish the interview that Sister Anne had with Father Jude about her life and how our Lord used to visit her. But I want to continue with the Divine Appeal. You know, the Divine Appeal, there's still more message. Page 8, I'll go through page 8 where it talks about comment on Anne's childhood illness. And I'll just make a summary of her life. From here, we find that Sister used to be sick when she was a young lady. Even before she converted to Catholic, as a Muslim, there was a sickness that she had, which was very unusual. And the family didn't understand what was happening to Sister, because what was happening, she used to have blood that was some blood that was coming out of her fingers. What happened? Her fingers started getting sick, getting swollen, pus started coming out, and even blood. And you can see from this picture that I have here, you can see her fingers. And then it used to be hard for her because she never used to sleep. She used to cry throughout the night because the blood used to clot. And as you know, when the blood, or when there's a wound with pus, it normally pains a lot. So it was pus plus blood, and it was used to pain her. So the only way she could relieve herself when it gets swollen, sometimes she used to press it so that it could come out and she could get relieved. So here you can see when she was in Form 4, this picture that I have with me here is when she was in Form 4. There's a picture here, you can see all her fingers. Each finger is wrapped with bandage because it used all these fingers had wounds. The nail had come out. So each finger, you can see all of them, and you can see Sister was smiling. That was something strange. So sometimes she could be in pain, but most of the time she used to smile. You can see even she was smiling. This time she was very big. She was in Form 4 at this time. And even here you can see her wearing socks, because even in her toes also were bleeding. It was the same like her fingers. So she was in that pain. And there was a time also that where she had a wound in her rib, and it started blood started coming out. It stayed, but it never took long. After some time it got healed, so you could not see. But as she continued even in her life, the scar remained. Another time also, in the palm of her hand, she used to have also some wound appeared, but after some time also this one got healed. But this was the life of Sister. This was before she became a nun, and it used to be very painful. But you wonder why all this? From the message, from her, the message that we get in page 8. In that condition, one time there was a healing mass in Nairobi, and she went, and that is where she was prayed for, and she got healed. And from there, we find that's when God led her. She went and she became, she joined the congregation, the Good Shepherd in Italy. Let me read a paragraph here in page 8, where it says, while Sister Anne's finger and toes no longer bled, her right hand became weak, almost paralyzed in 1999. This time she had joined the congregation. She had been to such an extent that she was unable to take down messages while Jesus dictated. So this time is when she had gotten converted. She had gone, we had said earlier, but now she was in the mission and she had started writing the messages. But while she was writing the messages, this when her hand became weak and in 1990, she could not, she was distracted. She could not write well because she could not, she was distracted. I think the plan of the enemies was to paralyze her so that she don't write the message. But what happened? Let me continue to read. The problem was further worsened when she was in Perugia from July in August 1991 to study an Italian language course together with her religious sister. At the place where they were accommodated, she fell down and dislocated her right elbow. At that time of this interview, that was in 9th September 1991, she was still suffering from this injury, which she sustained from the fall. Chosen soul, and in fact, all friends of God will remain target of the red Lucifer. You can see that was great suffering. Her hand suffering, getting almost paralyzed. And even in 1991, again falling. So it was not easy. Sister suffered. And then, in the next paragraph, what is Sister Anne's specific mission? As far as we can ascertain, each recognized visionary with Catholic Church has a particular message for his or her particular time. The answer to this question comes from the divine master himself. This is the mission of Sister. What was the message of Sister? What was the mission of Sister? We read in Divine Appeal 73, 20th January 1988, Sister Anne vocation. This work has to be a movement of continuous prayer for reparation and conversion of souls. Do not be afraid. Pray a great deal and cluster souls in your heart. In each face see my countenance, as you must live in deep humility of love of souls. Do the will of my eternal Father and completely surrender yourself. I enlightened you. Calm down in everything. This is what I want of you. So that was the mission that the Lord had given Sister. Continuous prayers, reparation for conversion of souls, and she was supposed to do this without fear. She was supposed to cluster soul in her heart and then give them to Jesus. And she was supposed to see each face in the countenance of Jesus' face. And she was also supposed to live in humility for the love of souls and to do the will of the Father by completely surrendering herself and to become. That was what our Lord wanted her. And for those who lived with her, maybe you can confirm from what we have read whether this was true in the life of Sister. I'll stop there because next week we shall continue. But as I conclude, I can say, I use you to show that I love every littleness and absolute nothingness. May God help us as we continue to meditate on this message on the mission that our Lord gave to Sister, and let us never be tired of making our adorable Jesus known and loved in the most holy Eucharist. Thank you and God bless you.